Ah, stupid mother. Just wanted ordered me a sandwich. It's not rocket science. So, now we're gonna get on cleaning up the photo etch from the last video. We're starting on the Enterprise, obviously. So, as we left off, we're working on the saucer. So we have this bunch of the windows to clean out, and we have over here also for the officer's lounge. So I'm just going to take a piece of some 400, and probably would be smart is I like to use you know, you can go ahead and get one of those sanding sticks. I just take a piece of sandpaper and a popsicle stick. There you go. Kind of the same thing, sort of. If you want to argue with me that they're not, well, go away. Probably right too, but it works. Trust me, it works. So, obviously we're getting right to it. So I'm just going to sand the putty smooth. And there's obviously a chance we're going to have to reapply it. And I'm also sanding on the photo etch as well. And I'm not worried about accidentally sanding my solar res windows because there's no detail inside to see anyways. May have to do just a little bit of fine scraping because there's still some putty in some of the grid lines. Really kind of hard to tell if I actually got it. May have to add a little bit more there, but it's very close. Over here, I don't need the sanding stick. It's just literally just sanding the edge down. And I'm only going as far as until I can actually see the photo etch itself. So I have to clean out the windows. At least until it's actually really smooth. You can tell if you have a low spot. Like you can see the low spot already because it looks like junk. It should almost look, your putty should look almost even when it comes to sanding. Especially that it's on top of the photo etch. Okay, now I need my hobby knife. It's probably up here. Some little stole it. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I just need to take this stuff down. There, just take this crap down. Yeah, what the hell? It got stolen. As usual, it got stolen. Teenagers, I swear to God. I gotta go find me a replacement hobby knife. Be right back. I remember now. He didn't take it, I fucking hit it. So that way he wouldn't take it. If I can hit it for myself. Alright. So, probably easier to spot it from the back. Kinda puncture it out. And there's a tiny hole. Okay, sand that. As I can see it, and clean out the window a little bit more. Oh yeah. So I think that looks way better. Yeah, that works way better. So, but I do believe I need to add just a hair bit more putty on for the officer lounge section. So I'm gonna go back and kind of do that. Just a little bit here. Probably a little bit there still. Okay. But because it's so little, actually, this is where we could just start playing with water to sand it. So I got a little shop towel. Because in my house, still the paper towels. So I'm just, actually probably better just to move it over here. I don't think you can see it being over there. So I'm just kind of, just lightly kind of spreading it. So that's kind of fine. But let me just go ahead and clean out my grid lines. I'm using the back edge of my hobby knife just to clean out the grid lines, so that way I don't, you know, score too much. I could do a dumb Beavis and Butthead joke right there, but no. It's kind of a little bit lame. Okay, I'll let this part dry. And of course, so as for now, it's pretty much all we have to really deal with as far as cleaning up the photo etch from the Enterprise so far. So I guess what the game plan is to kind of start test fitting parts to see. Oh, I got some putty junk in here to clean out. To see plan of attack, which I have a feeling we might have to start going into planning lighting and wiring and all that whatnot, which to me would say start here first, because this is where I'm thinking about putting the control board. So yeah, I think that's probably the game plan. We'll test fit pieces, and then we're gonna go plan on lighting. So let me go get the enterprise parts and we'll get started. So I think the way you should start it is the same way I did the refit, the 350, was start with the secondary hull, because that's basically the foundation of the ship. So just kind of start, you know, just kind of putting the pieces together and just kind of see what we have to deal with. Good chance to investigate, and I'm not really kind of going off by the instructions, in case you noticed. What it seems like is these two are the main support. Okay, all right, here's what I'm seeing to do. First, you need to clean off the edges for paint. So I'm just going to kind of use a piece of sandpaper here just to clean the edge. I'm not trying to shape or anything, just getting some of the paint off it, because I'm going to have to glue this together. And I think I'm going to want to do that first. Almost. But now I'm thinking I gotta actually do wiring. Well, at least we can clean it up to see what I need to do. All right, actually, we're going to actually glue that together because it is structural support. Now, obviously in here, going to have to put the light in, but obviously if you're having this thing already and you have it together, it's like, so how are you going to put your light in here? Well, if we glue this together and make it strong, we can actually cut openings out in here, in here, and here, and here, and just have areas where it will still kind of join together. In other words, we'll just make this a little bit more open in some places that's needed, and it'll still kind of be held together. So just get some mono glue, which is supposed to go on the part and not everywhere else. Good thing you don't really see a lot of this part. Now, while I'm thinking about it, probably want to grab some tape. Gotta hold it tight together. Make sure as you go, you make sure everything's lined up. Squeeze this back here a little bit tighter too. It's kind of even here. Okay, I know this is like a piece of crap. That's what it kind of looks like. But we need to let this set up first. And then we can start kind of making openings, and then we can start dealing with this one. So while this was drying, I just went ahead off camera, was to go ahead and finish cleaning that up. That's done. And same thing for here. Other than this was just a hair bit up when I test fitted it, so I just took some sandpaper and just smoothed it down like this, make it flush. Also, I went ahead, usually like if you're in between like drying times or something, and there's something you can do, like I did, I just went ahead and scraped some of the edges that I know I'm going to be gluing later. So it's just like something just to kind of do, that way in case you forget later on, that way you're not kind of worried about it. So I did these ones as well. So since we are kind of on the secondary hull, what we can do with this one here is we can kind of put together, well, even though I still need to paint that. Okay, what we can do is actually do the windows for the Arboretum. So we can cut those out. And over there. Throw that away. Get my Dremel. Oh, why it's set up in my vise. Got to clean the nubs as usual. Low speed. Tricky part is not trying to bend it while you're trying to clean the damn thing. You can always flatten it back out though, just in case. This one, a little bent happy, but that's okay. Now I gotta grab some glue, some CA. And this time I had tweezers. Got them this time. I do got to remember on which side was up. I believe was the curved side. Well, the curved side was down. I still have a little bit of a nub on this one. Oh yeah. So FYI, when you get your photo etch piece, one side is straight and one side has a curve. You want to make sure the curved side is facing down. And you're probably going to have to do just a little bit of filing, which in this one I do see I have to do, because if I don't, it's going to be a tight fit. Just do just a little bit at a time, maybe even on both sides. At least this way it cleans it up. That's all that one took, so. And then, grab yourself a piece of tape and put it on the outside, like so. So it's on the outside, but yet you have that exposed. Get yourself a little bit of glue. I'm still using the thick because I need to get some new medium. I just haven't yet. So I'm just taking my hobby knife and I'm kind of just spreading it a bit. So I can always just wipe it off. Your tweeze. But you're gonna have to work a little bit. Why is this one tight? This thing was perfect. All right, that one is in. So, do a test fit on this side. Same thing, gonna have to clean up a little bit. Still a little bit tight. Of course, you notice I didn't zap it yet. Okay, that one is good. So, again, tape. CA. I can always reverse it after. Okay. So, I need my zapper zip kick. Let's take one last look. Make sure I'm happy. Zap it. Clean off. Junk. Junk. By the way, this is a blade too, so I'm not worried too much about it. I don't need to be doing precision cutting with this for a while. There. Now we should be able to remove tape. Sometimes when you deal with CA and masking tape, you'll have some of the fine little backing on it. No big deal. You just go back and trim it out. Even though part of it is also the CA glue itself too. Just be careful not to mess up your Photoetch piece, because it is very thin. Plus I'll be able to sand it too when I do some putty in. You still have to do that as well. So, Photoetch. So might as well throw down some putty on it. Get that going. Now it doesn't matter if it goes in the windows, because you can just take it out. In this case, it doesn't hurt to actually get a decent amount on it. Like a decent amount. On the other side. Basically, treat this as Bondo. A little bit of, I call half window cleaning. Just makes it easier. And you can reuse some of this if need be. All right. So now that's puttied up. What I'm thinking about, what did I do with the Photoetch? Well, I'm thinking about the Arboretum, because it's so small. Not much of it you're gonna see. I don't really see me busting out the airbrush for that, but I do want something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use paint markers. I think that's the way to go. So, where are my paint markers? There's my paint markers. A lot of times, just get yourself some type of artist fine tip you know, acrylic paint marker set and have fun. And in this case, I'm going to do a lot of primarily blue because, well, kind of take that back. I'm going to do blue lighting in this thing, that's for sure. Doesn't have anything for the window here, so I got to figure that out on how much clearance that there will be. And what I mean by clearance is when this thing is made and you put it in the hull, how much room is there between the ceiling and that? Or it'll be one of those things I'm just going to have to cut out. This is a new marker too here. There we go. Okay. So in this case, we'll do the wall side in this silver. That's what I'm going for. And on this other wall side here, finish that one. So that's what I got for that so far. Try to speed dry by just blowing on it. Or I can actually just get out my heat gun. Not really. It's kind of setting up somewhat quick. Alright, time to choose another color. Probably want to stay away from that, so maybe we will do greens. We'll just say there's grass in there. So I decided to actually finish painting up the Arboretum off camera only because that thing shut itself off. Battery got too hot. So this is what it looks like here. I painted the doorways blue just because, well, it reminded me in the motion picture when they're in the engineering section, everything seemed to be blue lit down there. So, and obviously on the other side here would be engineering. I went ahead, did the ceiling all blue instead. Normally it's on the edges, it's supposed to be blue, and the rest of it's supposed to be some type of duct work and all that other stuff. But I decided to make this all blue only because I want more blue light to come out of the windows like you see in the films instead of natural light, which I should have did with my original 350, but hey, that's how it goes. While that was drying, I went ahead and removed the tape off the middle section of this secondary hull and kind of visualize what needs to be done. This part is generally where most of the lighting is, from here to here. So this section here we could probably leave alone, but in here we need to make an opening. So, but literally like a hole about this size, but yet I want to keep part of this still attached because it kind of holds the thing together. And we're going to need to do it anyways because we're going to have to run wire in all the way through the neck and out through here. And we're going to have to make an opening down here, obviously, for, you know, for the base. It's also going to be somewhat of an issue because we have to put the rec deck, so hopefully it won't be in the way of that. Down here, as far as lighting goes, all we really need is just for the strobe. And of course, you know, I keep saying rec deck, the Arboretum, but the Arboretum should be lit from somewhere up here. Most likely as far as an opening right here, the same opening we need for it to pass the wiring down through, you know, all the other stuff. So that's what we have on that. And as far as the upper part of the thing here, all we really need for lighting is just right here for the nacelles, which is no problem. So hopefully that won't be that bad. So what we're still waiting on is this to dry some more so it could be sanded. Actually, it looks like it's almost ready. Yes, and this needs to dry. But heck, while we're at it, let's go ahead and sand this anyways. It kind of feels good enough. So just grabbing some 400 here and just kind of easily take it off the face. Hopefully that thing won't overheat again. It is summertime as I'm filming this. Just like the original 350 that I did, I started this in the summer. So I expect same issues. Because this piece is so small, it's just, you can just work with it in your hand or whatever. And you know you got it when you don't see any more low spots. And you know by low spots by seeing unsanded areas. Good thing about a project this small, you can get away with a lot more. Okay, kind of go down to the other side. Still looks like there's a little bit lowness in the Photoetch area. That's also a good thing about just filling this in with putty on top of the Photoetch, just in case if your Photoetch is a little wavy because how thin it is, this will fill it in. Okay, so now just start cleaning up windows again. But you gotta go gently just because of how thin the window spacing is on this thing. I'm also contemplating on not putting any any of the clear plastic or Solarez, the Arboretum windows, because it will just actually make it easier to see inside of it. Because if I were to put anything on it, it kind of defeats the purpose of using the Photoetch part, because in some way it would be distorted or whatever for something this small. So in this case, just kind of like to do the Hollywood trick when you see an actor wearing glasses, they'll probably not even have any lens in it because it's going to have glare on it with all their studio lighting, so you may not actually put plastic on this thing. A little more. Same thing on this side. Like I said, be careful as you can that you don't bend these little window spacing. If you go back and sand a little more, you probably have to, just because of some of the putty that's on the Photoetch may have broken away and you need to make it smoother. So it's kind of what I'm going for here. Here, let's kind of like put it up and do a test fit. Yay. Okay, so set that aside. Set that aside. So, well, I think we can actually fold this over. It's acrylic, so this stuff dries pretty quick. So hopefully that thing won't shut off on me. Okay, we dab some CA on this. At least I know this will be done. Hey, where's my zapper? Here's my zapper. We'll zap this thing closed. Give it a minute to hold. Set that aside. Okay. There's my little Arboretum box here. Might as well just do a little test fit already. Wonder if it's easier just to put it in here like this. Actually, yeah, this would be a lot easier. And from what I see here, okay. So when it comes, which we'll get to soon, is when to put the Arboretum on. It looks like it would be easier to do it right here where you cut out the windows before. Looks like there's enough space in there. But of course, like I said, we're gonna have to make an opening anyways for wiring and all that other junk, especially in the front here. So we have to open this up, but leave a little bit, something so we can attach our light into, probably all the way. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way and we'll get set up on making some holes on this part. All right, so I decided to let this thing, fully dry overnight just for the heck of it. And so I guess now we can do is just start carving out openings for better lighting. So I think first, probably the best thing to do is make sure, I carve out what I need for the Arboretum. So we just kind of put it in place. And the way I'm lining it up is, you see back here, the original tabs, just put it right along with that and it'll be fine. So I'm gonna grab my hobby knife here and I'm just gonna kind of score a line, or you could do this with a pen or a pencil. Just so, you can kind of see it. So I'm gonna make an opening with my Dremel, and I have one of these grinding heads on it. You can use, if you're going to use a Dremel or something like that, use whatever you want to cut or grind out, whether if you're going to go nuts like this or with a disc or whatever, or you can take your time and start drilling little holes with a drill and start cleaning. But the point is, you got to make openings. So here we go. And what I started doing is just kind of making I'm not like trying to cut right to where the photo etch goes, just giving it some meat on the edge so that way I have something to stick to. Actually, as I'm thinking about it, I'm not going to cut this all the way through. I'm going to actually thin the plastic. And you'll see why in a minute. Doesn't help. Well, actually, I should take care of that up there. Okay, why I decided to change this instead of going all the way through, I thinned this out so that way this can actually kind of be the lighting for the Arboretum, but I need the plastic thinner so it'll make more light to show through it from when I do the interior. But I also have to clean out in here because this has been light blocked going through here, so I need to actually do that. But in order to do that, which we kind of have to do anyways, we got to make an opening over here, you know, to run the wiring from the neck down. So we can just go ahead and kind of do that. And in this case, what I want to do is and what I'm doing in here now, since I have this hole open, I'm just using the Dremel to whatever to, even though I don't need to, but the point is I'm trying to scrape off some of the light blocking paint job in order to help shine light through here. You can always just look up into a light, see where you're at. Pretty close. Just losing some work in the corners I need to do. And hopefully, if you're watching this, you ain't diligent as I'm going along. You're actually watching ahead, so you can probably like figure out during light blocking, if you go this route, you can actually prepare for it, so you don't have to go or do as much prep and changing as I'm doing. Like if I knew I was going to do this before that, then, you know, I would have done it. So I'm telling you, people like Boyd over at Trek Works, you know, he's built the things multiple times, so he's already kind of prepared. And rest in peace. But anyways, so again, like use like an overhead light, kind of see what you got. So the Arboretum will go there, but what I kind of want to do is, because I want kind of like blue lighting to show through, you need a transparent blue. So I got a little bit of Tamiya right here. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just grab a paintbrush of some kind. Like up here, I know I got just like a, oh, that's too big. Just a cheapy brush. This is not for detail. You're not doing anything detail. So grab the Tamiya blue. I'm just going to kind of paint a little bit on the inside. And I'm going to do some on the outside. Okay, that's good enough. I'll have to clean my brush in a minute. So, that's my blue lighting. And then, all we need to do is just glue the Photoetch part on. So, grab some CA. Just going to set it just on my perimeter. And I know where I'm going because I scribed the line. And what the hell here? Okay. Telling you, I need a fresh bottle. I don't know why I bought a bottle this big. This is more like if you're actually probably going to do a bunch of kits all at once. Get lined up just right. Come here. Okay. See my zappy stuff? Yes, zappy. Get this one in place. And kind of hard to see, but yeah, I can see blue light coming through it, so that's what I kind of want. And it's locked in place. So time to do a test fit. Make sure there's no obstructions. Just a little bit. So I'm having a little bit of a fit issues with the edge of the Photoetch. And I can see this corner here is kind of binding a little bit over there. So I'm just going to remove it, even with this, but surgically wise. Make sure it doesn't go outside. Okay. Just cleaning off some little interior plastic. If I have to, I can actually do a little bit of this too. Little metal work. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Like Ace Ventura would say, like a glove. Shine my light through it. Okay, pretty cool. I see some blue. This is great, and it fits pretty good, especially, you know, you gotta snug it up, but awesome. Let's see where I'm at it. Probably should clean this up too. Okay. a little bit more of the snap type nub. All right. So down here there's supposed to be a light from up here, so obviously it's going to need at least one wire coming through, and let's kind of see, where can I do that from? Well, there's options. I see options, so that's good. So I can use any one of these to run one little wire through for one LED. Actually two, because I forgot there's the one at the end of the fantail right here. But there's one in the middle of these four little phaser banks. And there's going to be this really pain in the one. Actually, no, it won't be. The shuttle bay goes over it. Actually, that one can stay above. Okay. That's the plan for that. Even though there's going to be two LEDs for down here, one here and one here. This one will eventually be routed through one of these holes. The fantail one will be staying through here, up and out, because back here it gets covered by the shuttle bay door. That's because I'm not using the Photoetch shuttle bay. If I was, then there might be a problem. So now up here, what do we got to deal with? So same thing, same issue I'm going to have. Probably when I get the shuttle bay on here, I'll see about this one. Obviously up in here, we're going to have to get openings for wires to the neck. So let me go grab the neck piece real quick. All right, so let's cut off the neck piece. And again, I'm going to cut off snap type clips. Because I don't want it to snap on. I want to be able to fudge it if need be. Snap type clip right here. Here. Here's one here. And as far as in here goes, okay, let's take a look what we're dealing with. So that could be thin enough, and that might be thin enough to run wires through, or at least back in here. So see how this fits. Ooh, definitely a tight squeeze. No doubt about that. Okay, so I'm going to carefully trace my neck profile. You can barely see it. So, put a little grinding tool back on. Do you have anything thick to work with in the back? Guess not. So I opened up a hole, put the neck back on it just to make sure that I didn't screw anything up. Because if I didn't, we should not be able to see anything. Good. I do see, just to give me some more clearance for wires, looks like I'm going to have to remove a post in the neck. Just from what I see right here. Try to get this thing on. This is such a tight fit. It's all pretty much because of paint that's on here. You got layers of paint from light blocking and all this other stuff. Makes these plastic pieces kind of tight. Okay. So if you look through the opening, you can see that's going across. That is actually this sucker right there. And if I want to give me some room, which, like I said, all I need is the edges, we'll just cut the off. But good, let's deal with all of it. There we go. Like I said, all I need is the edges. That's it. This thing's so small. That's right, more of an opening for more wires. So, I don't need to open that up. As far as getting lighting in here, is I got the wrong side. Plenty to work with, as I can tell. Okay. I see what I'll end up be doing as far as the lighting in here. So I can say that other than the deflector dish, actually I need to see that too. Let me grab that. Deflector dish. What kind of issues we're going to have on this? Oh yeah. So we have little snap type little nubby nubs. Actually, it'd probably be easier just to grind them off. They're so small. And there's only 2 of them. Put this on here. I got it upside down, son of a bitch. Okay, that should be no problem. So I can still use this as a place to put the bicolor LED for the deflector dish. Leaves just a big enough opening. I'll probably have to, actually after I do that and come around from behind or like in front of it or something, I may even have to put something in front of this just to block out any of the light coming out of the hole in front of the dish, which I think I will be doing. Yes, I will be doing that when it comes time for that. It looks like a fish. So not really much to report other than this here is actually now kind of ready to start putting in LEDs before we can actually go on farther, and possibly the same thing for the neck. The neck looks like it's going to be a tight fit for some type of LED to light this sucker up. What I may do is just take because any strip lighting is not going to work, but I think I have an idea. we'll get to that when it's time for LEDs. But for now, it's actually time to kind of start working on kind of the same situation as this, but for the Reliant. So we're now going to go to the Reliant. Let's go fucking do it. You know, the hat is like a truck, you know, you put it on and you turn it on and you could become, without it, you're just, with it on, you're just an extra. So we're on the Reliant part now. Just like the last section of the Enterprise, we're kind of doing the same thing here, only this part is not as I won't say intense, but more simpler, because basically the hull for the Reliant, there is no secondary hull. The saucer and the back end is that. It's all in one piece. So as far as, you know, all that type of prep work, and there's no arboretum to be made for it, so it's just simplified. So all I have here is the 2 halves of the saucer and the piece that on the last video we did some photo etching with. And so the only really mods for now that I see that has to be done is mostly for both halves. We're going to have to put an opening in the middle to run wiring, and we need to fill in the factory holes. Also, we also have some cleanup to do because I still haven't sanded off from the last video, put it in the officer's lounge window. So that's probably going to be, that's what needs to be done first, because we can clean that off. You can all enjoy watching me sand. Move this thing out of the way. It's like I need really a new piece. Or at least a new tiny chunk of a piece. The joys of sanding. Some of it, if there's too much, just scrape some of it away, because I have the groove in here from the BC deck, so I can just actually clean up some of that. Let's use my hobby knife. Just trying to go softly. That could be sanded forever. kind of fold my paper so I can round a little bit of this putty from the little groove here. A little bit, little putty and some of the little grid patterns. Scrape some of that out. Okay. So now that window is done. So I guess what we can do is fill the holes. I would do it from the back side so that way I can give it some meat to hold on to. Ah, came right out. Okay, I can use the excess here that's on my fingers for the other one, for the Enterprise part. Well, not the Enterprise, the lower saucer hull of the Reliant. Now some of this is actually going into the windows that we drilled out. No big deal. Like I said, when we're making those windows, probably going to have to be re-drilling these out multiple times. From putty work, paint work, yeah. A lot of that. So of course, I didn't have a paper towel here. That's what the bottom of the desk is for. All right, we'll let those two pieces dry up. And then we'll go make some holes for the lighting. And then there's also some work we got to do with this, mostly just for where the impulse lights are. So, transition time. So, then we can start by making new openings for wiring for, you know, your planetary sensor and your bridge. So, I'm not going to put too big of a hole. If I need to go bigger, I will, but so far I'm going to actually use something that's probably about 1/4 of an inch, just going right in the middle. Like that. Same thing for the bridge. The good thing, there's a little nub in the middle that you can line up to. Of course, I don't want to drill my cloth, but I kind of knew that was going to happen. All right. And by the way, these are kind of already flushed somewhat. Probably put a little bit on there anyways, even though you're not going to see it. Actually, you won't see it. So now the only thing I can think of to do with this, oh, by the way, off camera, like I said before, if you're waiting for something to dry or whatever, go through your parts and scrape paint off edges where you got to glue. So I kind of already did that with these ones, waiting for this to dry. and this sucker too, since I had it out. So the mod that I see that I'm going to need to deal with is for the impulse engines. On here, they're pretty solid and pretty thick in plastic, kind of hard to illuminate. And the little hole in it is really just for the tab for the clear part. So what I think I'm going to end up doing, I'm still going to use the clear part, but it should just fit right inside the edges. So, I mean, yeah, the tab is a good place to kind of line it up. You just push it in, but I'm actually going to remove that. So I'm going to kind of cut what's left of it on the inside. Like that, kind of get rid of them. Then I'm gonna go ahead and actually kind of scrape the light blocking paint just out of here. Now in theory, what I'm gonna do that is when I decide what size LED that I'm going to put in here, I got to make the hole the same diameter. That's why I'm not going to drill the hole out yet. But also with the LED being in here, it'll kind of illuminate the plastic a little bit, so it kind of like spreads the light out a little bit instead of just a beam right from the LED. So it kind of illuminates the whole thing, even though it's got to be a really small LED. But I'm not going to do it on the back side, only because I don't want to have any light leaks from something else from in the saucer or its hull kind of pushing through it. But of course, may have to make some type of light block or light box when it comes down to it. And I'm kind of like pre-seeing on what I kind of have to do with the back end anyway. So if I just temporarily put this in, obviously, you know, it's supposed to look like that. But when it comes to lighting, you know, these shuttle bay doors are supposed to be like almost like blue lighting on the inside and around. That's what these little gaps on the photo etching is for. So I can't illuminate all these, so what I'm thinking I have to do is kind of like build a box or something around it and put either one or two blue LEDs in between both of them, and put, like I said, put a box around it to, you know, to keep from light leak from the rest of this going through there. But of course, you know, it's an idea. Tackle that when we get there. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this part of. So just like the Enterprise, what's next is kind of actually we're gonna have to kind of get somewhat started on some LED work. Of course, for the Enterprise, it's going to be the secondary hull, and on the Reliant, it'll be on this one. So I'm going to make that its own separate video. So then in that case, I'm going to cut this video right here. So that'll be the end of that. So with that, until the next video, stop.